Okay, seventh graders, again, this is Unit 1, so we are up to Lesson 7. Looks like this is on page 61. You can see it there in the bottom right corner. It says, what is a scale drawing? It says, here's some drawings of a school bus, a quarter, and the subway lines around Boston. The first three drawings are scale drawings of these objects. Drop down, it says the next three drawings are not scale drawings of these objects. We've talked about this before, and I think you guys understand that a scale drawing, it's not going to change the size or the shape. So obviously these are not scale drawings. All right, turn the page here. We're going to come back to this because I'm going to give you guys a handout for you to work with. But you're going to be measuring a basketball court, and there's going to be a handout right here. And I told everybody to get themselves a protractor right here, and everybody should have one. If you don't, when we come back to that, you'll have to get yourselves one. And you're going to fill out this bottom chart here. But let's, you know what? Actually, I think I am going to do this right now. So hang on a second here. Let's look at this. It says your teacher will give you a scale drawing of a basketball court. The drawing does not have any measurements labeled. So let's look at the drawing for a moment. You can see that there is nothing labeled. There's no numbers on that anywhere. Okay, well, letters are not numbers. Okay, now, it says the drawing doesn't have any measurements labeled, but it does say that 1 centimeter represents 2 meters. So it's down right here in the bottom left corner of the drawing. 1 centimeter equals 2 meters. Now, before we go any further, I want to make sure you guys understand your protractor here. Let's take a look at this. Here's a protractor. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more so we can all see this. So 1 inch is right here. So if I went from this corner to here, that'd be 1 inch. Here's 2 inches and here's 3 inches. So this bottom edge, if this is your type of protractor, some of you might have one that's a little bit different, but I think almost all of them are this way. It's going to have inches across the bottom. And then on the inside bottom half circle is centimeters. And so you can see those here. So from this point right here to right here is 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters, 3 centimeters, and so forth. So let's go back to the scale information. It says 1 centimeter equals 2 meters. Let me pull a stick here for 20 points. Mr. Gwynn, can you tell me about how far is a meter? Do you have any idea?
4 yards?
No, good try. Miss Farrell, do you have any idea, Miss Carroll rather, how far a meter is?
No.
No? Let's do one more here. He's not here. Mr. Atwood, a meter, any idea?
He's here.
Yeah, I know.
I know it is.
I'll take that as a no. You're not answering my question. Okay, so everybody look at the doorknob over there on the door.
Yeah.
From most doors to the floor is about a meter. And a meter is really close,
To a yard. It's
really close to a yardstick. Not quite, but it's pretty close. So a meter is about 3 feet. Okay, so this yardstick here that I was waving around is about 3 feet. So 1 centimeter represents 2 meters, which is about 6 feet, which is almost as tall as I am. I'm a little bit over 6 feet. So with that information now, it says measure the distances on the scale drawing that are labeled A to D to the nearest tenth of a centimeter. And then it says record your results in the first row of the table. So let's first measure A to D to the nearest tenth of a centimeter. Now, let's go back to this for a moment. Let's look at this. I'm just going to look at from 1 to 2, and I'm going to zoom in even closer. Okay, take a look at this. If this is 1 and this is 2, you'll notice there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 marks between those two. So a tenth would be from 1 to the next line. That's a tenth of a centimeter, which isn't much. So when they say for you to do your measurements, they want you to be pretty darn close. Okay, so let's take a look. It says measure. I'm going to bring this back out a little bit. A to D to the nearest tenth of a centimeter, A to D. So I'm going back to the handout that I'll give you guys here in a few minutes. And I can see D right there. And this is line A. So I'm measuring this distance right here. And I'll zoom in. I'm going to give this one to you. I'm going to turn this. And I'm going to take my protractor. And instead of starting at 0, well, I guess I could start. Well, let me bring this up so you guys can see what I'm doing. There we go. So I'm going to start right here. This is 0. And I'm going to put that on the A line. And you can see I'm doing that right here. It's not quite on it, but now it is. So I'm measuring from here to here. Is that right? A to, oh, nope, sorry. Let me make sure I got this right. A to D. Well, that's kind of confusing, actually. Is this the D line? Or is this the D line? I wonder. It's got an arrow pointing to both.
Go to the very top of the page, where the top is. Maybe where that arrow says.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Right there, the A. Right there.
I know where the A is. I pointed that out. So let's go with, we'll call this line here. Whoops, I keep going off the chart here because I'm so close. We'll call this line, yeah, I'm not sure. They're not making that very clear. We'll say that's the D line right here. That's the one I'm going to measure right now. So hang on a second here. So again, here's the 0. I'm going to put that right on the A. And about, what do you think it is? It's not quite to 5. It's not quite to 4. So I'd say it's about 3/10 of a centimeter. I don't know if you guys can see that. So let's see, A to D to the nearest tenth. So I'm going to just right here, I'm just going to put 0.3 or 3/10 centimeters. Okay. So they want you to fill out the rest of this right here. And I think you guys can do that. Now, let me back out here real quick. Tall structures. I'm looking at page 63. Here's a scale drawing of some of the world's tallest structures.
It's in Dubai.
I think it is in Dubai, yeah. So from here to here is 100 meters. 100 meters is really close to a football field. Well, how far is that? What are we talking about here? So look at this. You can see that it looks like this is just about 1 centimeter. So 1 centimeter is equal to 100 meters, which is about the length of a football field. So you're going to have to measure some of these. Then they go to the lesson summary. And as I've always said, the lesson summary, in fact, even just yesterday, somebody came up to me asking me about the summary, about some trying to answer questions. And again, the summary is just a summary of the lesson. They're not asking you any questions. Glossary terms, though, you can fill that out. And then they've got some practice problems for you to work on. And it looks like it stops on page 67. So let me write this up here. So do pages looks like it's going to be 62 to 67. So write that down at the bottom or at the top of page 67. Okay, I had some questions here. Let me pause this. Or